Do you think you're a good drag, like lip singer, like a drag performer? Do you think that's your strongest suit?
Wow.
Whoa, yeah, go for the cutting ones.
Absolutely. I think I'm the best there is.
That's a drag queen, y'all. Lie to yourself until it's true, you know?
Yvie, hi.
Good morning, afternoon, evening.
Oh my God, please, before you type in your fucking chat or in the comment section, yes, I know I sound like this and I can't help it, but just know it was worth it. Because that anytime I sound like this means I had a motherfucking good time.
Did somebody fuck your throat so deep that your voice box got fractured? Somebody told me that in the last week. They were like, yes, and then I sucked so much dick that
I'm assuming they weren't a medical
voice.
professional.
No, but you know, they did have precise doctor like familiarity with anatomy. So
okay. Well, that is not what happened.
Okay.
Even though I would not say that has not happened before. However, that did
what
not
were you
happen.
doing? How did you lose your voice then?
Yes. Oh my God. So this weekend was so much fun. I was a part of putting on GLAAD's Black Queer Creative Summit. And just think about it in this way. If like summer camp met like a Black, queer, and trans Hogwarts. Like it's literal being surrounded by 200 to 300 Black, queer people from across the country. And I programmed this alongside some other folks on the team. And we programmed just like 3 days worth of incredible opportunities of intention. And Lee Daniels was there, Lena Waithe, Cree Summer,
Wow.
Nico Nan. Wayne Brady opened it up with a video right before he was about to get on stage on Broadway, like to like welcome everybody in. I mean, we had every Black queer power person that like industry leader or like professional or creative who is good at their game. We had them at this summit, and it just was so beautiful because you take for granted we take for granted the fact that we have access and we get to talk to some really incredible people, and like we have people that we consider friends who are also just incredible at their work.
Yeah.
We take for granted that there's someone in the middle of bumfuck nowhere who just like doesn't even probably have any other Black queer people around them, and like being in a space where it's like you look to your left and to your right, and then you see like in front of you what your future can be. It's just like chilling. And there were so many moments with that people were just coming up to me, and like I've been reposting on my Instagram all these like recap videos and their experiences and how everyone just is like, I am full. Like I have never felt more seen. And I always get so nervous about stuff where I'm like, oh my God, I just hope people can tell that we like put like our
so
blood,
much
sweat,
heart
and,
into
tears into this thing. Like hours on hours of just like workshopping. Well, what makes sense? Like what conversation should go here and there? It just was beautiful. And to be honest, I feel like it like unlocked something in myself where it's like I was reminded, I was like, oh my God, I can do like the unthinkable or like the impossible. Like I can run something that of this caliber and be like a white girl. When I tell you I was a white girl with my iPad to my hip, child, I felt like I was running that bitch. I could have ran for president.
Like one little earpiece in and all the shenanigans.
Someone said, next time I'm getting you a headset because you're giving like Britney Spears. They were calling me Riot Spears because I was like literally just like corporate baddie giving stage manager teas, which shout out to Ryan in theater in high school. All your hard stage manager work paid off. It
worked out. Girl, that sounds so beautiful.
It was great.
Wait, so was number one, was this the first of its kind? Is this like the first year that it's been on, or was this just like your first time getting to run all of it?
Well, it's not its first time. The inaugural year was in 2023, and I was just a part of the planning committee, right? Like I was just like a small piece. There was like our leaders, you know, the actual people in charge. Deshawn Usher and Julian Walker were actually leading us. But this time they were like, hey, do you and my good friend Shar want to like co-lead on this. And I was like, yeah,
hell
of
yeah.
course. Like, why not?
My plate's already overflowing, but I might as well.
Yes.
Girl, real. And thing number 2, though, Ryan, is you were like, this had all of like the Black queer industry leaders summit. Bitch, where the fuck was my invite?
First of all, you be busy. 1 minute you in New York, 1 minute you're in Denver, 1 minute you're in Timbuktu, Florida. I don't know where the hell you be at sometimes. So, but please know, if we get to do this again, I for sure want us to have a high key moment at the summit, like the next time. I'm brainstorming, but it was beautiful. I love doing shit for us in a really beautiful way. Like it makes me happy because I just never in a million years thought I would ever be able to do that, especially because I was told like my queerness was unacceptable and was never going to like take me anywhere. And I've just proven everybody fucking wrong.
Girl.
But how are you?
In big fashion. That's how she lost her voice. I already know you were like yelling and laughing and giggling and throwing ass.
Oh my God. I was like moderating like a couple conversations, and it was just great. It was great. How was your weekend though?
It was so wild. It was pretty wild. I was working on a couple projects, shooting a couple things.
Ooh, I love the secrecy.
Projects and things, if you like music, that's all I'm going to say about that. But I also, I went and did a couple of shows down in North Carolina.
Really? Have you ever been to North Carolina?
I got family in Raleigh, so I've been for like family reunions as a kid and being like, wow, great food. Y'all have a beach. This is so cool. I will say being there at this time and this gay, it was definitely a little bit of a different experience, especially because I was running late, like I am. Like I was painting on the plane, so already like, okay, this is gonna be an interesting thing. I have a question.
Why do they do that to you? Why do they like book your travel? Like, was that day of or something? Like where you have to get straight off the plane and then go right there?
It's not even like they don't. I will say, my management, and my agents, and all the promoters I've worked with usually are very, very understanding and try and get me out in a reasonable amount of time. The problem I've been running into is I have just been like a step behind in everything. So like I said, I was on set shooting something all day, like the day before, and had that night to like pack and get ready to fly out early in the morning. And I just like I could not make my original flight. So I had changed it till the next closest thing. Was like, all right, girl, you're just going to be who you are.
Yeah, you gonna make it happen.
Girl, bitch, the way I was like literally all day painting in cars in a train station that I was supposed to be catching a train on, but she was running late. I like left my phone at the Pride Festival I was at.
Oh.
I had to take an Uber from Greensboro to Charlotte, which is like a 2-hour ride. And when I tell you this man pulled up with little cross stickers like on all of his windows with the American flag print on it, and here I am in like full T-girl tranny standing in the bathroom to scare your daughter face. Like, oh God.
Wait, so did your like heart sink when this man rides up with probably Confederate flags all over his car? It's like, oh, what happened? How awkward was the Uber ride is what I'm asking.
I want to take a second and say I've got the right career here in podcasting because I'm a good ass conversationalist.
So you talked to him?
He talked to me first. I'm sitting there in full clear as day night drag, and he's like, "So what are you doing down here?" And I was like, "I'm a drag artist and a performer." And he was like, oh, why are you going from here to there? And I was like, I was essentially like a glorified birthday clown in the daytime. But now that I'm going where adults are, I'm going to be a birthday clown who's a stripper. And he did not crack a smile.
I know. He probably was like, what in the deviant? Let me start praying right now.
Yeah, I quickly readjusted. I was like,
you said wrong crowd.
I'm actually mostly just there to do comedy. I'm a comedian. And he was like, ha 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 ha, and then proceeded to talk to me about how he moved there from across the country because he didn't like how liberal the place he was getting. And I was like, okay, girl, we're gonna talk about the Bible, we're gonna talk about Christianity, we're gonna talk about how the world is not a place he likes. And you know what, I held my own. I had a really great conversation with him about spirituality.
So you had like a really constructive back and forth.
I mean, I think as constructive as it could have been for a professional deviant and somebody who was literally moving their wife and kids across the country
to get away from people like you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like literally. The fact that like you were sitting right in his back seat is like insane to me. Wow. What did you feel
talked about the Bible,
it?
girl.
Yeah.
What did I feel leaving it? Oh my God. I'm so glad to be here at a gay club. Oh, the way I ate that shit up. I was partying with the girls.
I love the gays.
Yeah. I had been dead after Pride. I was like, oh, this is exhausting. I'm going to be late to the next place. And then having that car ride, I was like tense. And the second I saw faggotry, I knew I was home again. So
you said, bring me back to debauchery and chaos. That's like injected into my veins.
Girl, shout out to all the queers legit living in places where I know the world might be a little bit more aggressive against us, but y'all are some of the best people because of it. You know how to deal with the bullshit.
Speaking of queers, we have one joining us today who is one of your sisters who I'm so excited about. Honestly, when you think of mogul, you think of her. KimChi from RuPaul's Drag Race is joining us right after this.
Business woman shit.
HIGHKEY. Now, we've had a ton of queens on the show, but this is a queen that I think about when I think about Empire and Drag Race. There's only two queens that come to mind. And to be honest, she's not number two. You know her as RuPaul's Drag Race legend, the ultimate makeup mogul. And then, of course, one of the most iconic fashion queens to ever hit the scene. She's fierce. She's iconic. She's funny. She's all the things. Welcome to HIGHKEY, KimChi.
Thank you for having me. Oh my God, what a build-up. Hopefully I live up to some dramatic introduction.
Oh my God. As if, girl, that was like cut in half. Your story, your lore goes like 10 times longer. It'd be like KimChi.
It's like longer than a CVS receipt.
Girl, yeah.
Where you can actually purchase my makeup.
Yes.
Oh.
That is exactly why I said the plug. I know, I peep game. I'm a journalist. I did that.
Yes.
No, thank you so much for coming on the show. I have always loved with doing the show with Yvie, one, as a fan of like Drag Race, but two, as like someone that gets to sit alongside so many big queen personalities and just legends. I get to be like the kid sitting at the adult table, right? Like I get to find out all the lore and the tea and be like the fly on the wall. And so it's really fabulous. How have you been? Let's start there. How have you been? How's everything? So much going on in the world.
How's your soul?
Are you?
How are your holes?
On a personal level or a professional level, like I feel great because obviously like I have my books coming out. Everybody's been loving my makeup brand. So that's going good. On a personal level, like I think the word right now is survivor.
Yeah.
Like every day I log into social media and there's just nothing but terrible news. But then also like I don't have like the luxury of like not logging to social media because like it's what we do for work.
It's literally your job.
Yeah. See, but that's why I'm just like bad at my job.
It's true. But
easier.
Also, like, have you ever been good at drag? I'm kidding.
Oh, girl, don't even start.
Yes,
don't even start like
we're
you don't.
It.
Like you're kidding. No, she's not. This bitch at 5 years of sharing random dressing rooms with her, and she only ever has nice things to say behind people's back.
That is also true. But I will say, I'm not kissing ass just because like I'm on your podcast. And get ready, Yvie. I'm gonna expose you. Yvie is one of the best queens to tour with because like she is so professional and she's so sweet, but also like she's great in a sense where because you know some girls they get very clingy on tour and then they get very like all up in your business. You know, like Yvie, you can like talk and hang out with her and have fun, but then also she goes and like does her own thing, you know, like catches up with your own time.
Yeah,
Like,
girl, because I'm still trying to get laid. Like that's the thing
Yeah,
about
it's like
hanging with all
Evie's
the rude
fucking.
bitches is like people are like, oh my God, it must be so cool to chill with the girls and blah, 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 kiki. And I know there are divas who are literally always like attached to somebody else. But I realize that number one, I don't like drag queens that much.
I feel like I get it. I get it. Absolutely
And number two, I'm
understandable.
trying to fuck, and nobody's like out here trying to jump in our pants if they see us in a gaggle of us. They're like, oh yeah, it's like it's like trying to hunt a rhinoceros or some other metaphor.
Well, the crazy thing is, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised, Kim, that you have time when on tour, which you do a lot, to hang out with the queens, because it's like, I would think in your spare time, you are like full on business corporate baddie. Like you, like it's just, you came straight out of Drag Race in such a swing. Like, yes, you went on the show and you had a platform, followers, all the things. But I guess, what did you think was the key to establishing your post-Drag Race career?
So after a while I was in Drag Race, I was like, fill up my calendar completely. I don't want to see an empty day. I want to like work, and you know, like save as much money as possible. And I was doing that for like several years. I was like never home, but then it kind of like took a toll on my like physical and mental health. You know, like I like used to go to like gym regularly, but then I just like stopped working out because I am sure you know, like after like getting on a plane, getting somewhere new, and then like getting to sleep to like catch up, and then doing the gig late at night.
It's like, who has time for that shit?
And carrying 350-pound luggages everywhere you go.
Exactly.
Which I would assume also, a little side note, I would assume that is also a form of cardio. Y'all's suitcase and carrying that shit around, y'all are lifting at least 50 to 60 pounds a bag.
That is true.
Girl.
And then on top of that, and this is not me like complaining at all. I'm very happy for like the opportunities and things. And then because like I'm always out of town, you just naturally like fall out of touch with your friend's home. And then when you're actually home, you're like too tired that you don't want to do anything. And then everybody just assumes that like you're always out of town. Then you stop getting invited to things.
Yeah.
So I'm just like.
And people ask you, oh my God, girl, when did you move to LA? And you're like.
And then all the conversation is like, so how was the tour? And I'm like, I mean, it was great, you know, but also like, do you really want to hear about my work? You know?
Girl, my favorite
question. You also want to talk about your work after doing the thing.
My favorite thing is that like, how is the tour is like the question that like any random person who like knows you and wants to like get to know you a little better will ask. They'll be like, oh my God, girl, how's the tour? And you're like, actually, it's COVID and I haven't been doing anything. But
well, because I'm assuming tour is just a lot of traveling to the next city. You go on stage, like you're prepping, you're sitting around prepping, like dress rehearsals. Kind of take us behind the scenes of like a tour moment.
So everybody is on a different journey in tour. So I will tell you routine of some of the girls and then what I personally do.
Ooh, yeah. Tell us what those other bitches do and why you're better.
So I realize everybody's tour routine is really dependent on each queen's reliance on substance. So there's the drinkers, and then there's the stoners, and then there's like the straight edge girls, and then there's the girls who are all of the above.
Say their names.
You know? No, I'm not going to say their names. I'm not calling anybody out. But the ones that are drinkers, I feel like they sleep all day and then they wake up in time to get ready for the show and then do the show and then go out to the clubs and then party until like it's time to like come back to the bus, and then they come back to the bus and they're just drinking until like dawn or whatever, and then they pass out and then rinse and repeat.
Girls, some of them, like some of those bitches, I always thought the most exhausting thing about tour was that you want to hang out with the divas. So you're like, yeah, I'm going to hang out with the drinkers. You're out till 3 a.m. And then those bitches are up the next morning and we're like, yeah, we went shopping. That's what
I don't see how y'all can do it. This is crazy. Working in nightlife. I mean, I went out this weekend for one night and I stayed out till like 4 a.m. And immediately the next day, I felt like I needed to be admitted into the hospital. I was like, I can't breathe. I'm hurting. I'm about to throw up. I did throw up. Like, I just don't see how y'all can do it. Like, I also have no voice. Like,
that's why I don't do it, That's why, I don't drink. And that's why I don't, really do anything, Like, if I stay up, till 2 a.m., my entire, week is ruined now.
Period. Period. So your kind of routine is the complete opposite of what you just listed.
So I am a morning person.
She's the straight edge bitch.
Yeah, I mean within reason, but I don't really do anything. So I just like to go to bed before midnight and then wake up at 7 a.m. and then go to the gym, go explore the town, run errands and then do work.
I love that you opened up by saying how much you like touring with me, because also not kissing your ass, you are one of my favorite people to tour with.
Oh,
there's just some sense of adventure and or actually taking advantage of what you get to do in the moment that you're there. And there's this energy that drag queens get when we're all around, where we either are all chit-chatting, keying, gossip, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, her wig, blah, blah, blah. Or we're bitching about things. Fuck this tour, fuck that van, fuck, fuck these eyelashes, fuck this, fuck my job.
Yeah, and it's I feel one of those conversations where if only the walls could talk.
I feel because we spend so much time with each other, you have to find a balance of having fun, but then also learning to give people their space.
Yeah, but that's why I feel you have some of the best balance. I never would have thought I would have fallen in love with. I specifically remember in Asia, you were my saving grace in Asia, because I was excited to go to Asia for the first time, excited to be with all these girls I hadn't worked with. And then there was you in Aquaria. And I was like, okay, sweet. Yeah, they're good girls or whatever. I was so shocked when we were all throughout Asia in every city and not one of the bitches wanted to go and do anything. They were like, no, I'm just going to stay in my hotel room and eat McDonald's for the 5th day in a row. I'm like, bitch.
That feels me coded if I was a queen.
It's if I'm in Asia, I will not waste my time in Asia in just in a hotel room,
True.
I want to eat new things and I want to see places,
right? And I feel I was shocked because I spent the most time on that little mini tour with you in Aquaria, actually going around, eating things, going places, having adventures, and I realized that drag queens suck.
But my thing is, it's I totally get that. I think y'all have gotten so many really incredible opportunities to travel internationally in the ways that you have, where it's yes, you want, especially in those early days, you want to take those moments and explore and do these once in a lifetime opportunities. But then on the other side, I can see a piece where someone might just be a little overwhelmed or exhausted. And I just be I can't. If y'all want me to perform the way I need to perform, I need to conserve my energy. So it feels like a little bit of a balance when you're
girl, I get that.
touring.
I get that part. That's for real. I think that's what Kim was just talking about is also we went back to our hotel rooms. We had our space.
Yeah.
This tour was a blessing too, because well, I can't say that in this order, but there was a typhoon.
There was typhoon,
that gave us 3 or 4 extra days off. So we had days off in a country where I know none of these bitches had ever been to. You had time to chill and rest, and then you had time to go do something. And legit, the most that I remember bitches doing were yes, we went to a bar and got drunk.
Yeah. And also a lot of my experience, especially traveling abroad, is experiencing the food in that culture. So then I'll be I'm going to get this food. Anyone's welcome to join. And most people don't join, but Yvie's always down to join and come on these food adventures with me. And then she like eats everything that we order and she like enjoys it genuinely, not performatively.
Right.
No, girl, because it's dope. And honestly, it feels like I'm so spoiled when I'm with you because I'm like, when the fuck am I ever going to be in a country where somebody, even if they don't speak the language, knows what that thing is on the menu?
It's like you have a tour guide
Yes.
for sure. And I think there's just an appreciation, like being a person of color here, like anytime you go somewhere else, like you're like immersed in culture, there's a appreciation for that, right? Like it's never going to feel necessarily performative. And I think that's why you two probably really bonded as well during that time. But I guess when did you start working on KimChi Beauty? Like when were you doing all of that like pre-work while you were touring and you were taking calls and meetings while you were like eating whatever with Yvie? Like what was that time like?
Yeah. I mean, when drag queens tell you like, "Oh, girl, I'm so busy. Sure, yes, we are busy, but also we are not busy at the same time, if that makes sense. Like we are very busy
our
like
jobs are
traveling
fake.
and like, going to places, but then there's also like a lot of downtime in between. And I'm sure Evie's heard this phrase, like rush to wait around. Like a lot of times like we are like rushing to get ready, and then after we get ready, and we're like, all right, it'll be like 4 hours before you're on stage.
Oh, for sure. I understand that too, of like hosting live events where you're just like have to be there at like noon and the event's not until 7.
Hurry up and wait, bitch.
Yeah, you're just sitting around.
So there's always time to like work on things. As far as KimChi Chic Beauty, I was working on it for a good year before we launched it. And then my cookbooks and like my young adult novel, it's been in the work for 2 years before it's finally like seeing the light. So
Crazy.
we worked on it for a long time. Yeah.
Bitch, you're just like always doing things. I think it's really interesting because to me, you come from the season that sort of represents like the end of, I'm gonna say, the golden era of Drag Race, and it's not because I'm saying like, oh, the show was better, like the queens were better. I think there was something about the culture that still was allowing drag queens to take risks in new directions, like the first person in fashion magazines, the first person in TV or film or doing a stand-up tour. And I would argue that literally season 11, the one that I was on, was the beginning of our modern drag race, where it was like, okay, girl, there's like 3 other drag races going on right now. You pick and choose what you're doing, and there are more limited opportunities, I'd say, to really like carve out your lane if you just got on. What do you think? What do you think of like the bitches who are coming off of these like last couple of seasons?
Obviously,
like how they're working.
It's like a double-edged sword because like in the earlier seasons, like a lot of times like you had to be like pioneers to do like anything when it comes to like putting out content or things like that. And now I feel like there's like a blueprint for all the queens to follow, but then also there's not much like individuality in terms of like coming up with like things they do. I feel like before the queens would like carve out their like own niche and spaces, like queens will like start like DJing in circuit parties, or they will like curate these parties or like curate like this type of music. And now I'm like, all right, here's the cast reveal. All right, here's my merch. All right, here's my club gigs. All right, here's and then even like the times of like merch they release, like, all right, here's my shirt and a pin.
Yeah.
And you rarely see like queens like breaking boundaries in terms of like what they offer like to the audience, aside from like the generic like 1, 2, 3, like,
yeah,
here's my photo shoots, here's my shirt, here's
yeah,
it doesn't
Have
make
you
sense.
always had such like a forward mind about it though? Like where does this entrepreneurial ship come from? This like business mind? Because you came out right after Drag Race with what was your song called? Like Drag Race Rue Bop?
Oh, it was called Single.
I was like, that's not the stuff.
So around that time, like every Drag Race finalist was releasing music,
Literally.
and some were good and some were not things that I would choose to listen to. So I was just like, how did you go from like lip syncing at clubs to, I mean, and there are drag queens that are great singers, you know, but like not all of them were great singers that were like releasing this music. So I'm like, let me poke fun at this like system of like drag queens feeling like they have to release music when they become a finalist.
Which,
So
speaking of, that's a blueprint that was like set up from RuPaul, like
Yes.
herself.
And it makes sense because RuPaul had been releasing music like all of his life.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a producer and I said, I want you to make me the worst song that you could possibly make. And let's create something terrible together. So then we did it, and then I put it on iTunes. So it was basically like a joke that people were paying 99 cents for.
But listen, girl, it's worth it. It's a bop.
And basically it was a song about how I won't release a single. I don't know. I thought it was camp, you know. It was profitable.
It was so camp. And I guess because I even think about even to go to your point earlier, your earlier point, Yvie, I do think there was something really special about like that logo era, like RuPaul's Drag Race, right?
Ooh.
And there's just, when it started to move over, into the VH1 and then the MTV, there was a moment where you feel like, well, did we just take something out of the recipe? And
so like, I personally think like it's not necessarily like logo per se, but doing regular season and all-star every year is, I think, which is great, is constantly creating more content and is giving more queens opportunities, but then also it's kind of giving like an exhaustion where before, at least around like my season to around that time, even just like regular season, cast announcements was a big deal. And then the bars would do like cast announcement parties. And then each queen, like all the fans would like look up all of their content. And there's like so much like build up and like which queens were going to be on. And every year was like, who's going to make it on? Like which queens disappear from like your your town.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, all right, she's gone. All right, that's cool. You know,
Yeah,
and then queens are purposely like going to hiding around like filming time just to like create a hype for themselves, and you know, like, and now it's kind of like, all right, I guess she's gonna be in next season. That's cool.
Were you prepared for when you got on Drag Race? Like, did you feel like you were ready for what it was going to be like opening up for yourself, right? Because you did have a ton of followers, like I mentioned before. But even then, I feel like influencer culture was different. Like, I don't even know if there was like still like there were the brand deals and the bigger opportunities that you can see now. So like, were you prepared for kind of like being catapulted into like such a mainstream way, in such a defining way?
I knew it was going to be like a big opportunity for me and possibly one of the biggest opportunity I get in my lifetime. So I was just trying to monopolize it as much as possible. That's why like as soon as I came back, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have like photo shoots of like all my outfits like ready to go. So then like it's not like the screenshots from the show that people share around, but it's the photo shoots that people like share for things. Because I know like all these fan accounts like always repost things. I want to have like merch that goes with like every like basically episode like that made sense, you know. And also I wanted to create merch that wasn't like a generic thing, but like actually cool like iconography that people want to wear even if they didn't know who I was. So I came prepared.
Well, you also came out of like some very special period of time for drag and the drag culture where I will say Chicago specifically as a scene was creating platforms for drag artists around the country. Like everybody I knew followed like KimChi, followed Trixie, followed Shay, and we're paying attention to these things. So it was interesting because that was a point in time where being an influencer, content creator, whatever the fuck it was called then,
yeah, there was like a renaissance in like the Chicago drag scene at that time. There were like so many crazy parties happening. All the Chicago queens were like, it was like a friendly competition where we were trying to like up one another with like the craziest like looks and performance ideas possible. And I don't know why, like, so many of the Chicago queens get overlooked in the casting nowadays. Chicago's like a great city for like up and coming artists because the living cost for a main city is very low, but it's also easy to get around with the public transit. The city itself is very clean. I mean, Chicago has its problems too, but
Well,
where
yes.
in America doesn't have problems nowadays?
Yeah.
Girl, you don't need to tell me.
I mean, yeah, we don't need to get to politics because it'll like send me spiraling too. But
I know, right? Wait. Let's get into something that will spiral you in the other direction then, because I'm actually really excited about your cookbook. You are a foodie. You go around the world, like trying all of these things, searching out. Kim will like take you on a fucking journey.
Which I love a girl that knows, like, if you go to a city, she knows exactly where to go food wise and like has done the research, because that's the type of girl you need in a friend group. Because
I always like say, and like when we are in a new city, I'm like, this is where I'm going. You're welcome to join me. Do not come if you can't eat like this and this type of food.
Yeah.
Because they will not make substitutions here, blah, blah, blah. Give everybody a rundown, and then people come, and then, a lot of times people are happy,
I'd say so. Like, and even if not, I think it's nice to do something that isn't just going to a mall. What do you think your like relationship with food like really stems from? Because like obviously you've got like a food name, you are sharing a new cookbook with the world. Like,
I think my relationship with food comes from me constantly needing new stimulation, whether that is like new flavor, new texture, and things. When I was young and growing up, and every time a new ethnic restaurant would open up in my small town Michigan that I grew up in, I would save up all my allowance to go try it because I was like so fascinated by like the way different places cook their food and the ingredients they use. And now I'm too, like if I go to a restaurant and if I see something that I've never tried before, like I always have to order it, no matter like how hungry or like full I am.
You're like, I still gotta see what she's gonna do.
That's so interesting, because I also wonder, it seems like your love for food really started in such a positive way, but then I think about what happens to you internally when, especially if you've lived in a bigger body, and the world will not be scared or shy to tell you that we hate your fat body. How did your relationship to food change when you became, one, in the public eye, and then two, you felt like, oh, I'm this fat person that is like talking about my love for food when everyone is telling me to do the opposite, which is not eat?
Yeah, that is so funny you bring that up because for a while I was like ashamed to like post any like food that I eat because every time like a picture of me get posted, there would always be a comments, and it's still to nowadays. There's always a comment about my weight, whether like I've lost weight, whether I've gained weight. There's always someone posting about my weight, and I'm like, I'm here like trying to share like this beautiful dish that I got to enjoy and I share it with, and like what, and your focus is on whether like I'm fat or skinnier,
Girl.
And I feel like maybe this is something that I'm going to like deal with for the rest of my life. It's almost as if like my art and like the things I like doesn't have a merit if my weight isn't like
tagged on at the end.
Certainly. I feel like, and also like a lot of my opinion towards like food it feels invalidated if I'm not skinny enough. But then if I'm skinny, then I'm like, oh, what does she know about food? So after some point, I just have to like not worry about what other people are gonna think and just
that has to be so conflicting though when you're trying to like, when the passion, because when you talk about food, there is like a passion. Like, I'm a Top Chef girly. I love watching Top Chef because of how beautiful like the food looks and like the experience, not because I want to eat everything, but just because of like this beautiful examination of cultures that I may not have grown up in or have seen. And
their fancy kitchens. They have really nice kitchens.
But it is just something. I would imagine how conflicting it would feel trying to pursue like what could be like what has become a potential like a pivot for you out of drag spaces and or even emerge into like bringing the two together. How conflicted that could be sometimes when there are so many comments about your body and how it's changed or hasn't changed, and like even on top of the noise that you are probably even internally going through about your own body.
If there's one thing I learned very quickly after going on Drag Race, that if you constantly worry about what other people think about you, you'll never want to do anything because there will always someone just hating on something you do. Some people just don't like you, and that's absolutely okay.
Yeah.
So, it, you know, and this is something like I still, have to like learn. It's just like I just have to do what I like to do, and I will choose to share if I want to share, and if people don't like it, whatever. I can't worry every second of my life what other people think about me anymore.
For
Like life is too
sure.
short. I just have to eat the things I want to eat, share what I want to share.
And comment mean things under other queens posts / post pictures of their noses and chins and grown neck hairs.
I never make fun of people's physical appearance.
No.
You don't have to. You just take the worst unflattering pictures of bitches and then just share it with the world.
I think they're very flattering, so I think it's crazy that you think these beautiful photos of my sisters are absolutely unflattering. That is kind of crazy. I'm actually seeing them from like their best angle, and then you trying to gaslight me into thinking they're unflattering.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
You make me so scared to fall asleep around you because I know she like will get up in there. She will get like the tongue rolling out.
Oh, I've heard about this. I remember. I feel like I've heard Naomi talking about like she would get like people would be so annoyed on y'all's season because y'all would be taking these unflattering photos.
Yeah, I mean, also back then we were so young and we were like menaces, like.
Mm-hmm.
If you're so immature, then it's like I mean,
are you a different bitch now? Because you've been on tour with Work the World for
now I just don't care anymore. And to anyone that I ever heard in the past by taking unflattering photos of you that I think was very flattering, get over it.
Wow. I thought there was going to be some accountability, KimChi. What the fuck?
That's not what she's for. That is not how she got here.
HIGHKEY. So I do wonder when you are on tour, people comment about your style of drag performance. And I wonder, do you think you're a good drag, like lip singer, like a drag performer? Do you think that's your strongest suit?
Wow.
Whoa, yeah, go for the cutting one.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think I'm the best there is.
Work.
And that's a drag queen, y'all.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
Until it's true,
No,
actually, Kim, I don't think you get enough credit for like literally being like one of the tallest people I've ever seen. Still not really chickening out. Like when you wear a heel, it's usually a pretty real heel. And then like also having the most ridiculously big billowing bullshit outfits in front of you. And people are like, Kim's not dancing. And I'm like, yeah, because she's a piece of art, girl.
Yeah, and some people like, I think I saw you do an Adele number?
Mariah Carey that I did in the past.
I was like, I think I saw you because I saw the big blonde hair, and I was like, It's either way. Like I personally have, when I've seen you perform, I think you eat. But it's just nice to hear you straight on, answer that question because so many people have opinions.
Today, I don't know. I actually don't read. I don't read the comments because I don't want to get into headspace again, like wondering like what other people are thinking about me. I just have to like get on stage and then do it and do what makes me feel good. And if you don't like it, get over it.
Can I be more personal then? Because all of that just reminded me, like one of my core memories of learning how to be a Rue girl or whatever going on my first tour. I won't ever forget like sewing and hot gluing together a finale outfit like the day of like the opening or something, or like the biggest show. Maybe it was in LA. And then my outfit fell apart on stage.
Like on purpose?
No, because it was hot.
It was a tulle dress, but then you just like tied it around your waist and it just like fell apart on stage.
Yeah, and then you ate shit on my tour
during closing. Yeah, I didn't see.
Really?
Yeah, just like slipped because it was like a big tool that was just like on stage.
It sounds like sabotage to me.
I just knew that we were probably never going to speak again. I was like, Kim always gets so much shit about like walking in heels, this, that. We are at LA, big fancy lights are like in her face, and then my messy ass trips her with all my tool.
What?
I'm not mad at you because you didn't do it like intentionally. Like I was more like mad at the situation, you know.
Like I cannot believe they crowned this messy bitch.
No, but also like that's what made you unique, you know.
Yeah,
like
that was a really nice compliment of saying yes, you are a messy bitch.
No, but like that's what we love about Yvie. Like I don't want everyone to see like pageant polished gowns from Yvie. I want to see like punk like fun looks that she like curates that no one else would wear.
And I think the reason why I bring up the whole drag performance of it all is because I think, well, even when we watch seasons now, I think fans think you have to do like a flip or a pop number or all the theatrics to make a great drag performer. And I think we've historically seen that that's just simply not the case. And I wonder your thoughts around how people, because of modern Drag Race, are taking in the ways that they feel like Drag Race our drag queens should be performing.
So personally, when I go to a drag show, and I can't speak on anybody else, but this is personally what I want to see when I go to a drag show. I don't want to see like 10 queens all just bucking and turning. I want to see like a comedy queen tell like a funny joke. I want to see like a look queen turn like a beautiful look to like a beautiful song. I want to see like a dancing queen like bucking and turning. You know, I want to see like a crazy like alternative queen doing like something punk rock. I want to see a variety, you know? And I feel like and each queen has like their own color and style. I don't care what you do. It doesn't matter what your specialty is, as long as like you commit to it and do it well, you know? And obviously everyone has like different expectations of like what a good performance should be, you know? But if you know your lane and if you like commit to the lane, you know, like I love that.
Okay, that was really sweet of you, but now I want to hear a pet peeve. Like, what's something that like does when you go to a drag show, you watch that and you're like, this stupid bitch.
Oh, so my biggest drag pet peeve is, and it's not directly at a drag show, when drag queens online or social media ask, what kind of performance do you guys see me do? Or what kind of looks do you guys want to see me do? That is just my personal biggest pet peeve because I feel like it is your job as an artist to curate an experience and let people experience your art. Otherwise, you're a jukebox just taking requests from people.
Girl, you just wrecked me. That's like all I was going to do for the month of October. I was
really?
Like, okay, y'all, what do you want to see me dress up as next week? Watch HIGHKEY here.
Oh my God.
KimChi's going to offer the first suggestion.
But my thing is, do you
also,
actually
I'm not even
like,
talking about the queens, you know, like at a bar where they take like requests from the audience and they like do like a drag suicide or thing, you know? It's the ones that are like, why do you want to see me perform? You know, that's something like you ask your drag sisters and friends, you know?
Yeah.
But like, don't ask
you just
people
become
to,
a good vibe reader. Like, that's my favorite skill that drag queens have to have when we're like on the run, going to all these places, doing 12 shows a day is like, okay, that's a brunch crowd. What am I trying to bring them that's going to make them give me money? That's like a slutty sex club crowd. What am I going to do that's going to make them give me money and sex?
That's sure, like the number that you're perform for like the bachelor party will be different from like the number you'll be performing at like a queer alternative club.
So we ask every guest on the show, what are you HIGHKEY about?
You know what I'm kind of obsessed with? Do you follow pageant drama?
No.
Is this
do you know Miss International?
Just a genre?
I'm kind of now needing to know more.
Yeah. I've
okay,
seen
so
the
Miss International is basically like Miss Universe, but for a trans woman.
Work.
And the latest drama is so the final 3 were Miss USA, Vietnam, and Cuba. And Miss USA ended up winning. And then right after they won, they were interviewing Miss Cuba. She basically accused Miss USA and Miss Vietnam of bullying her, throwing rocks at her, calling names behind. And no one went up and hugged USA and Vietnam, but every other girl were all surrounding Cuba, like all like jumping, cheering for Miss
Oh
Cuba.
wait, was she wearing a yellow dress? I think I saw that. Like
I
the
think
winner.
Miss
She was like
USA was, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, I was like, she was like a black woman.
Yes.
I saw this. Oh,
So
I saw this clip.
So I don't know what the truth is. Obviously, when you'll never know as like audience at home. But my God, is pageant drama juicy?
Wow, of course, that's what you're taking in on your downtime.
I mean,
messy
it
girl.
just showed up on my algorithm, you know.
She's like, this is some good shady content. Like the world is chaos. Let me focus on some smaller bullshit.
It's just like, honestly, I cannot handle another breaking news about like what rights are being taken away from us. I'd rather just see like,
oh, I know.
pageant girls like fighting it out.
Drag queens being drag queens.
Yeah.
There's a
ladies being
balance.
ladies.
There's such a balance where I'm like, I'm down to like know. I want everyone to know what's going on in the world, but I also don't want you like spiraling. I need like finding little pockets of sunshine and happiness is the most fucking important thing we could be doing right now.
Mm-hmm. We gotta do what we gotta do to survive, you know. Hopefully the next 3 years and
God.
then some.
Oh my God, no more. Okay, I need to eat a meal. I need to like put on a nail or
Kim
something.
is low-key
When have you
sadness
ever worn
from inside
nails?
out.
Okay, you know what's crazy is I've been sitting here this whole time trying to peel the backs off of these nails because I'm trying to become a woman who wears a nail.
Why are you starting now?
The world is ending, girl. Do what you've always wanted to do. Follow your dreams or whatever the fuck.
You know, I think you're beautiful with or without nails, but mostly without nails because I've never seen you with nails.
You heard it here first. I'm sick of her shit.
KimChi, thank you so much for coming on HIGHKEY. We love you so much. Please come on anytime.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. My books, KimChi's The World is out. Or it should be out by the time this comes out, I'm assuming.
Like, she'll be there.
You can purchase my makeup. CVS, JCPenney, available on Ulta.com starting from September 30th. And thank you so much for all your support.
Of course, always. Don't y'all go anywhere. We have our high keys of the week up next.
Yeah.
High key.
That was like a really, really chill convo with KimChi. That's like one of the things I always forget about her is like when we're in a room full of drag queens, she'll like, you know, be there. She'll throw the sharpest shade in the room.
Yeah.
But Kim and I were often like the only two smokers on tour. So we shared a lot of smoke breaks where I'd accidentally be like, girl, the world is tough. Here's some deep philosophical issues. And she'd be like, I've learned these lessons in life. And then we'd go back into the room and be like, yes, Gaga. Your makeup's busted.
I would love to be in that, like that blunt rotation, if I'm being quite honest with you too. Because yeah, KimChi, honestly, she's exactly how I thought she was going to be. Like I've always thought of her in a very like Kourtney Kardashian monotone way. Like you never know what she's really thinking. Her face is not as expressive, but I think every time she does open her mouth, it's something witty, it's something insightful, and it's just like it's a reminder that like drag queens aren't always these big clowns. like
wow.
They're not always trying to like, you know, be like larger than life. Like,
you know, our extraness comes out in different ways.
well, tell me what your extra high key is because I would love to know.
Okay. My extra high key right now is Gen V. I'm so excited. I'm so excited she's back. I
Not
love
me reacting that way, but
I mean,
actual
girl,
yes.
it is a yes though.
I was binging it last night, so yes.
Girl, same. Well, actually, I was rewatching it because I've already watched all of the episodes that are out like twice already.
Which is this a part 1, part 2 thing? Because it couldn't end like that, right?
Wait, what do you mean part 1, part 2?
Well, I'm just saying, you know how like Wednesday they like split up the seasons. They do like part 1 that you get the first like 4 episodes or 5 episodes, and then part 2 you get the rest like at a later day. I'm like, that can't be the whole season that I just watched last night, right?
Wait, are you on the first season? Because I only saw like 3 episodes out, and I just figured they were just teasing the people and we're going to become a weekly thing or something.
No, there's like The second season is out right now.
Girl, what if you just have like that extra privileged? I'm in the industry. I'm friends with somebody. Password, because I did
telling
not
you,
see that shit.
My Amazon Prime is exactly like everybody else's Prime Video.
You heard it here first.
I'm just like you little people.
Well, it's legit. I mean, I love the show because it is always cultural commentary about all of these big aspects of what it's like to be an American in America. It's a part of the boys universe, so it's like superheroes, politics, like social commentary. And I love it because it's just so raunchy, like dicks and blood and people, like lots of body gore. So she's my everything right now. I'm really into it. What's your high key?
My high key, I just want to echo again how like incredible the Black Queer Creative Summit was. I just can't stop thinking about it, of course, because I just came off the heels of it. And so like always obsessed with every person that attended and like got something from it and lived their fucking best life. It's high key obsessed with that always. My actual high key is I am high key ready for this season of Big Brother to be over. It's almost over. Granted, there has been a lot of changes. The producers are really losing it for me. They're making this game quite stupid, and they did that when a game favorite, Rachel, got eliminated for no fucking reason. Spoiler alert! If you're not watching or if you're behind, you came to the wrong place, bitch.
Yeah, that's really on you. There's like an episode every day, right?
Like it's every 3 days. So it's like Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it's like that's a cycle. And there's just been so much going on. I don't even know if I want to say it's the worst season, but it's low-key giving the worst season of all time. However, my winners are for sure between, which is crazy to say, I would have never said this weeks ago, is Morgan and Ashley. Those are my two winners. And also maybe Keanu. But I still got some catching up to do. It's just been a shit show. I hate it when these competition shows, when they are trying to, it seems like every show is trying to establish like Love Island numbers, trying to get everybody and their mama to talk, like have the same kind of cultural like relevance like that show did this past summer. And like you overproduce and you're over like doing shit. We can see right through that. We can see this like gameplay. We can see how you're manipulating the contestants in the diary room where you're trying to get them to say the thing or trying to, you're just playing at the game, which is like fine. But like also sit back and let them do what they're supposed to do. Like these folks should know how to play the game. To be honest, these people have been also the worst at playing the game. There's a lot of newbies who have never watched Big Brother before, which has pissed me off.
Ryan, you're going in on everyone. You're like, producers, this is you. Contestants, this is you.
Because they're ruining a game that I genuinely love. Like, I love this game. And it's just like, I understand everybody is like, it's like everybody probably feels like they're on the chopping block. If they don't get like insane numbers, then the show was like gonna like plummet. But like, bitch, stop overdoing it. Stop trying to force it and trying to like gaslight us into loving it. We will love it if you just let people do the fucking thing.
And also cast Ryan. Cast Ryan and she'll stop talking shit about you.
Oh, they never gonna cast me after me dragging that. They never gonna cast me. They're gonna be like, they're gonna bring me into that house and say, bitch, you're eating slop for 2 weeks. Just because we heard on High Key what you said. So yeah, that's my High Key. But what a wonderful episode. I genuinely am so excited that we had KimChi on. Thank you so much for coming on. Y'all should really get her cookbook and her makeup. Maybe you can put me in a KimChi face using her makeup palettes.
Ooh, okay, I'll do it because I got a lot. I'm hoarding.
I'm like, I really just want you to put me in drag. Like, please do it one of these episodes.
I'll do it. And to do the thing that KimChi hates, make sure y'all leave us a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts and make sure y'all use words like, hey, Yvie and Ryan, you're awesome people and I love you a lot. And also, to do what Kimchi hates, make sure you tell me what I should dress as for every week of Halloween.
And don't forget, we're about to head over to our Patreon, hang out at the Afties, patreon.com/HIGHKEY. We love it over there. We spend about 20, 30 minutes just chit-chatting, reviewing, talking shit. I'm probably going to go in on more people because you fucking deserve it. But it's all the exclusive content is over at the Afties, patreon.com/HIGHKEY. So yeah, that's it.
There.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just ate that. Like, Yvie, you're getting so good at this.
I'm a professional.
I love you.